All right, so today we're diving deep into a book that's got me thinking about hidden billionaires and early mornings.
And the power of a good routine.
Exactly. We're talking about The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma.
It's a fictional story,
Yeah.
but it's packed with these strategies for personal growth and becoming the best version of yourself.
And I have to say, Sharma really knows how to set the scene for this transformation.
Yeah, like right from the start, we're dropped into this high-energy seminar.
Led by this mysterious figure called the Spellbinder.
Right, and he's drawn this massive crowd.
But there are two people in the audience who really stand out.
A super successful entrepreneur, she's like on the verge of burnout.
And then there's this struggling artist.
So talented, but just hasn't quite found their way yet.
And it's funny, when I was reading this, I thought the seminar was almost like a snapshot of society.
Oh, totally. You've got the high achiever who's pushing themselves to the limit.
The creative soul who's searching for their purpose.
And they're all there looking for answers.
And then boom, the Spellbinder collapses.
Right in the middle of his presentation.
Total chaos.
And just when everyone's wondering what's going on, this homeless man walks up to our entrepreneur and artist.
But here's the thing, this homeless man, he's wearing this ridiculously expensive watch.
Like at least $100,000.
It was that detail that made me stop and think, wait a minute, what's going on here?
It's like Sharma's telling us to look beyond appearances.
To question our assumptions.
So who is this homeless man?
Is he really who he seems to be?
Well, this is where the story takes a really interesting turn.
Yeah.
This isn't just some random guy on the street.
Okay.
He starts talking about hardship and resilience, and then bam! He reveals himself to be Stone Riley.
A billionaire.
Yeah, and he offers to mentor them on this remote island.
Okay, wait a minute. Why these two?
Right out of all the people in that crowd, why them?
And why this whole elaborate setup with the seminar and the collapsing Spellbinder?
Man, why not just invite them to a fancy dinner and offer to be their mentor? I think Stone Riley understands that real transformation takes more than just words.
He's creating an experience.
Something that will shake them out of their routines and open their minds to new possibilities.
So do they accept his offer?
What, I mean, who wouldn't want to be mentored by a mysterious billionaire on a tropical island?
They're whisked away to Mauritius on a private jet.
During the flight, they receive these cryptic messages about the importance of a world-class morning routine.
A world-class morning routine. Okay, I'm intrigued, but also a little intimidated.
Me too. I'm more of a hit the snooze button 5 times kind of person.
Yeah, exactly. But it makes you wonder, what does a world-class routine actually look like?
And how could it possibly be worth all this secrecy and extravagance?
It's like Stone Riley's already planting these seeds, getting them to think differently about how they approach their days.
Yeah, and when they finally land in Mauritius, they meet Stone Riley on this pristine beach.
I can just picture it.
He looks more like a surfer than a business tycoon.
And he starts talking about attention to detail.
Drawing these parallels between a Formula One pit crew and, master artists like Vermeer.
Okay, that's an interesting comparison. What's the connection?
He's saying that no detail is too small if you want to achieve true mastery.
It's about bringing that same level of precision and focus to everything you do.
Your work, your relationships, even your morning routine.
So it's not just about waking up early, it's about approaching every task with intention and a commitment to excellence.
Right, and this ties into his critique of what he calls the collective deprofessionalization of business.
Basically, he believes that in this age of distraction, we've lost sight of the importance of focus.
And dedication to our craft.
I feel that sometimes it's like we're so busy trying to do everything that we're not really excelling at anything.
He's urging us to resist that trend, to rediscover the power of deep work.
Of really immersing ourselves in a task and striving for excellence.
He believes this is essential for both personal fulfillment and professional success.
So how do we achieve that? What's his secret sauce?
Well, he introduces this concept of the 4 interior empires.
Okay, I'm listening.
It's mindset, heart set, health set, and soul set.
The 4 interior empires.
He argues that true success requires mastering each of these domains.
So it's not just about external achievements, it's about cultivating inner strength and alignment.
Exactly. And later on, he dives into each of these empires in more detail.
But essentially, it's about cultivating a positive mindset.
Connecting with your emotions and passions.
Taking care of your physical health.
And aligning with your purpose.
So it's a holistic approach to personal development, not just a quick fix or a productivity hack.
And it's fascinating to see how the entrepreneur in the story starts to find hope and confidence as she begins to apply these teachings.
She's facing a hostile takeover of her company, so the stakes are pretty high.
Yeah, but she's starting to realize that her self-worth isn't tied to her business.
It's about her inner strength and resilience.
That's a powerful message for anyone facing challenges.
So what's next in this billionaire boot camp?
Well, this is where Stone Riley reveals his 20-20-20 formula.
The 20-20-20 formula. What is that?
It's a powerful morning routine that's designed to optimize your first hour after waking up.
Okay, I have a feeling this is where that 5 a.m. part comes into play.
I got it. The 20-20-20 formula is all about making the most of those early morning hours.
And he actually explains the neuroscience behind it.
Yeah, he talks about how it leverages neuroplasticity and neurogenesis.
So he's not just throwing out self-help platitudes, he's backing it up with science.
Which is pretty cool.
Okay. I'm hooked. Tell me more about this 20-20-20 formula.
Let's dive into that in part 2 of our deep dive.
Sounds good. I'm ready for it.
Welcome back. So you ready to unpack this 20-20-20 formula?
Absolutely. I'm all ears.
Okay, so remember we're talking about those first 60 minutes after you wake up.
Yeah.
And dividing that time into 3 20-minute pockets.
Gotcha. So first up, 20 minutes of intense exercise.
The 5 a.m. sweat.
5 a.m. sweat. Does that mean I need to hit the gym at 5 a.m.?
Not necessarily. It's more about getting your heart rate up.
Okay.
Stimulating blood flow. Waking up your body and your mind.
So things like running, swimming, cycling.
It's exactly activities that energize you.
So it's about getting the blood pumping, not necessarily about bulking up or training for a marathon.
Right. And Stone Riley even talks about how exercise triggers the release of endorphins.
Those feel-good chemicals.
And something called BDNF.
BDNF, what's that?
It's a protein that's crucial for neurogenesis.
Neurogenesis.
The birth of new brain cells.
So by exercising, you're not just getting physically fit, you're actually helping your brain grow new cells.
Exactly. BDNF is like fertilizer for your brain.
Oh, okay, that's pretty amazing. I'm starting to see why Stone Riley is so successful. He understands that physical and mental well-being are connected.
And he acknowledges that waking up early and exercising can be tough, especially at first.
Yeah, for sure.
He encourages starting small.
Like a 10-minute walk or something.
Right.
Yeah.
And then gradually increase the intensity and duration over time.
It's about building a sustainable routine, not punishing yourself.
Exactly. And he also says you should find an activity you actually enjoy.
Yeah, if you hate running, don't force yourself to run.
Right? Maybe try dancing, hiking, or swimming.
Anything that gets you moving and makes you feel good.
The point is to find something that energizes you, not drains you.
He also mentions making exercise a social activity.
Like working out with a friend or joining a group fitness class.
Yeah, there's definitely something to be said for accountability and community support.
It's about setting yourself up for success. And sometimes that means enlisting the help of others.
So 20 minutes of sweat down. What's next in this power hour?
The next 20 minutes are for the 5 a.m. reflection.
The 5 a.m. reflection.
This is all about quieting the mind,
Okay.
gaining clarity, and setting your intentions for the day.
So journaling, gratitude, exercises, meditation, things like that.
Exactly. Practices that help you cultivate stillness and focus.
I really like this part of the routine. I can definitely see the value in creating that mental space before the chaos of the day sets in.
It's about taking control of your inner world before the outer world demands your attention.
He's basically saying that by dedicating time to reflection, you can gain a greater sense of control over your thoughts, emotions, and actions.
You're training your mind to be more present, focused, and intentional.
It reminds me of that quote, "The quieter you become, the more you can hear."
It's about tuning in to your own inner wisdom.
Okay, I like that. So what specific practices does he recommend for this reflection time?
He suggests something called the 3-2-1 process.
The 3-2-1 process? What is that?
Basically, you write down 3 things you're grateful for,
Okay,
2 things you want to achieve that day,
I see.
and 1 thing you learned the previous day.
Simple but effective. It's a nice way to reflect on both the past and the future.
And when it comes to meditation, he encourages experimentation.
So it's about finding what works for you.
Exactly. There are tons of different techniques out there, from mindfulness practices to guided visualizations,
The key is to find a practice that resonates with you.
and helps you cultivate that sense of calm and focus.
All right, so we've got the 5 a.m. sweat and the 5 a.m. reflection. What's the final 20-minute pocket in this routine?
The final 20 minutes are for the 5 a.m. elevation.
5 a.m. elevation.
This is where we focus on learning and expanding our knowledge.
So feeding our curiosity and nurturing that growth mindset.
Exactly. He recommends things like reading books,
Listening to podcasts.
watching educational videos,
Focusing on topics that inspire you or teach you new skills.
or broaden your perspective.
I love audiobooks. I listen to them all the time while I'm walking or doing chores.
He actually recommends utilizing audiobooks, especially during exercise or commutes.
It's a great way to multitask and make the most of your time.
He also suggests reading biographies of great leaders, books on personal development.
Anything that sparks your interest and challenges you to think differently.
He's really emphasizing the importance of investing in your intellectual growth.
It's not just about acquiring information, it's about expanding your worldview and challenging yourself to think critically.
And it doesn't have to be a huge time commitment. Even just 15 or 20 minutes of focused learning each day can make a big difference over time.
It's about consistency and making it a habit.
This whole 20-20-20 formula is starting to paint a clear picture. It's about nurturing your physical, mental, and intellectual well-being.
It's a holistic approach to maximizing your potential.
Exactly. And it's all anchored in the power of waking up early.
Stone Riley really believes that those early morning hours are the most valuable time of the day.
He says they offer a quiet sanctuary for focused work and self-improvement before the demands of the day take over.
Remember that scene where he flies the entrepreneur and artist to Rome?
Yeah.
He wakes them up at 5 a.m. to experience the magic of the city before the crowds arrive.
It's like he's saying, if you want to experience something extraordinary, you need to step outside of the ordinary.
It's a powerful metaphor. He's challenging that whole burn the midnight oil mentality.
He believes that by mastering your morning, you set the tone for a more productive, fulfilling, and successful day.
Okay, so we've got this powerful morning routine, but there's more to Stone Riley's philosophy, right?
Oh, yeah?
He doesn't expect people to just go hard all the time. He also emphasizes the importance of sleep and recovery.
Absolutely. Remember that trip to the Roman catacombs?
Yeah, what was that all about?
It wasn't just a spooky tourist detour.
Okay.
The spellbinder shows up,
He's recovered from his collapse at the seminar.
and he's there to talk about the essential role of sleep for peak performance.
It's a good reminder that rest and recovery are just as important as hard work and discipline.
He even quotes H.G. Wells, who said, "You cannot imagine the craving for rest. I feel a hunger and thirst."
Wow, that's powerful.
The spellbinder really highlights the negative effects of sleep deprivation. Impaired cognitive function, increased stress hormones, a weakened immune system.
It's like running your car on empty. Eventually, it's going to break down.
And he's not just advocating for enough sleep. He's talking about high-quality sleep.
So creating a relaxing bedtime routine, optimizing your sleep environment, avoiding caffeine and alcohol before bed.
Exactly. It's about creating the conditions for a restful night's sleep.
He even suggests things like deep breathing exercises and visualization to calm the mind before bed.
It's like a toolkit for better sleep hygiene.
So we've got this powerful morning routine, and we're prioritizing sleep. What else does Stone Riley have up his sleeve?
Well, he introduces the 90901 rule.
The 90901 rule.
This is about dedicating the first 90 minutes of your workday to your single most important task.
For 90 days straight.
Yep. He believes that this focused burst of energy on a high-impact activity can lead to big breakthroughs.
I love that idea. Instead of getting bogged down in emails or small tasks, you're tackling the most important thing first.
He also introduces the 60-10 method,
Which is?
alternating between 60-minute work sprints and 10-minute recovery breaks.
So working with your natural energy cycles, not against them.
Exactly. Focus intensely for a set period of time and then take a break to recharge.
This reminds me of the Pomodoro technique.
It's a similar concept. It's amazing how much more you can get done when you work in focused bursts.
Instead of trying to power through for hours on end.
It's about working smarter, not harder.
And it aligns with Stone Riley's earlier point about minimizing distractions.
By scheduling these focused work sprints,
Yeah.
you're training your mind to stay on task and resist those temptations.
Okay, and then there's the whole 2 weekly 90-minute massages thing, right?
The 2MP.
Yeah, the 2MP, it sounds a bit extravagant, but I get it.
He's really challenging that hustle culture mentality where people glorify working themselves to the point of burnout.
He's advocating for a more balanced and sustainable approach to success.
One that prioritizes both work and recovery.
It's a powerful message in a world that often glorifies busyness and overwork.
And this all ties into his concept of the twin cycles of elite performance.
The twin cycles of elite performance, what's that all about?
It's this idea that you need periods of high performance and deep recovery.
It's like training for a marathon. You can't sprint every day.
Right. You need to rest and recover to avoid injury and burnout.
He compares it to the ebb and flow of the ocean.
The alternating cycles of high and low tides.
You can't be on all the time.
You need to allow yourself time to rest and rejuvenate.
If you want to sustain high performance over the long term.
It's about recognizing and respecting your natural rhythms, both physical and mental.
Working with your body and mind, not against them.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about the power of waking up early, the importance of sleep and recovery, and a bunch of tools for maximizing focus and productivity.
But there's another key piece of Stone Riley's philosophy that we haven't touched on yet,
Which is?
the importance of cultivating joy and playfulness.
So we left off talking about joy and playfulness.
It's kind of an unexpected twist in a book about productivity, right?
Yeah, you don't always associate those things together.
But Stone Riley makes a really compelling case for it.
Well, and before we get into that, I wanted to touch on Stone Riley's mentorship style.
What do you mean?
He's not exactly your typical self-help guru, right?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
He's got this air of mystery and these kind of unconventional methods.
Like, who whisks people off to Mauritius on a private jet just to talk about morning routines?
It's all a bit over the top.
But somehow it works.
It does.
Yeah.
And I think it's because he doesn't just lecture or preach.
Right.
He creates these immersive experiences.
Like that trip to the Taj Mahal at dawn.
It wasn't just sightseeing, it was a lesson about perspective.
About seeing the world with fresh eyes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He understands that transformation happens through experience, not just through information.
And remember how he kept popping up unexpectedly?
Like when he was piloting the helicopter,
Yeah. Or crashing their picnic in South Africa.
it's like he was constantly testing their boundaries.
Keeping them on their toes.
He's not just teaching them concepts, he's helping them embody those concepts through real-world experiences.
And remember how he handled those threats from the entrepreneurs' investors?
He didn't just offer advice, he took action.
Yeah. He sent his security team to investigate.
That moment really shows his character.
He's fully invested in their well-being and success.
It's almost as if he's playing a character in this elaborate game he's created.
But underneath it all, there's this genuine desire to help them transform their lives.
Absolutely. And let's not forget the scene where he's doing handstands and beating his chest while reciting affirmations.
It's a reminder that even billionaires have their quirks.
It makes him human.
Relatable.
Okay. So let's talk about this heroic human circle.
Yeah, what is that all about?
It's introduced by the spellbinder towards the end of the story.
Okay.
And it's basically a visual representation of virtues that are essential for positive leadership.
So it's not just about personal success, it's about using your talents to make a difference in the world.
Exactly. The circle includes virtues like honesty, industry, audacity, service.
Excellence, care, growth, resilience, bravery, love.
It's a pretty comprehensive view of leadership.
It's not just about business acumen. It's about ethical conduct and a commitment to serving others.
And the spellbinder emphasizes that leadership is not just for a select few.
He believes that everyone has the capacity to be a leader,
To make a difference in their own way.
regardless of their background or circumstances.
So to wrap things up, what are your key takeaways from the 5 a.m. Club?
You know, for me, it's the importance of a holistic approach to success. It's not just about working harder or getting more done. It's about cultivating inner strength, prioritizing well-being, and finding joy in the process.
It's about aligning your actions with your values, embracing challenges, and using your gifts to make a positive impact.
It's about recognizing that success is a journey, not a destination.
And that true fulfillment comes from living a life that is both meaningful and joyful.
We've covered a lot of ground today. The power of morning routines, the importance of sleep and recovery, the tools for maximizing productivity, and the virtues of a heroic human circle.
It's a lot to take in.
But hopefully it sparks some new ideas.
And inspired you to take action.
So if that seemingly homeless man turned out to be a billionaire in disguise, what other hidden potential might be lurking within each of us?
Maybe it's time to set that alarm a little earlier and find out.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the 5 a.m. Club.
We hope you enjoyed it.
And remember, the journey to a more fulfilling and impactful life starts with a single step.